welcome to Patty's Aquatics.
Welcome to Patty's Aquatics. My name is Adam and welcome to the Fishroom. So today what I plan on doing is I got to do a little bit of work here on this Axolotl tank. I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. I think that's going to be kind of a common theme maybe for the next few weeks. There's a few tanks I want to do a few things on, and I'll just show you guys what I'm doing. You know, sometimes it's nice to do like an entire fish room tour where I can show you everything, but really this type of video I can give you more in-depth look at really each tank and what I'm doing, and maybe more reasoning behind the purposes of what I'm doing. So with this one, obviously I have showed you guys already in the past that little hide I got in there, but there's a plastic piece from a plumbing department from a local department store or hardware store that I got that hide for the Axolotl for. So I put that in there, and I said my plan for this tank really was I just want to put Anibias in here, different Anibias, and I really want to make this a jungle of Anibias, and that's sort of where I'm going with it right now. I will add more here in the future, but today I also had some other plans, and I talked about this as well in one of the past update videos. My daughter would love to have some type of shelving unit on the back wall for the Axolotl to maybe try to climb up onto and things. Someone in the comments, in a past comment, had said something about an acrylic stands to put up there, like almost like shells, which look kind of cool. But then I thought of different ideas as well. I could get maybe like a little acrylic shelf, or like I could make pieces with acrylic and drill some holes in them and use suction cups to the back wall. I could go cheaper and get the egg crate that I use for some of the lids for my tanks down here and kind of make a shelf with suction cups, and then put Anibias onto that. And that would be kind of cool too, thinking and seeing like all the like roots kind of like hanging down. So that might be something in the future. I have to do a little bit more digging into that because, well, I hate suction cups, so I don't know if that's going to be the greatest idea. So I don't plan on doing that today, but one of the main things I plan on doing today, as we see our little Ty, the Axolotl climbing all over the place, which is kind of cool. I want to work on the filters a little bit today. That's my main thing that I want to do. Now, what I plan on doing is I want to double stack these guys now to get like double the efficiency of filtration in this aquarium. And that's the plan today. So I'm going to show you guys how I double stack these filters if you don't know how, and show you all about that. And then at the end here, after that, I want to attempt to add a few tank mates in with him. And then I want to talk a little bit about the pros and possible cons of doing that. But with that, the filters themselves. Now, I want to double stack them. Like I said, these are Aquarium Co-op sponge filters. These are the black ones. Now, these are the fine filters that I have in here. Sorry, I'm just looking at that butthead trying to climb up that smooth hide there, and he can't get up. It's hilarious seeing him running one spot. It's like a mouse on a hamster wheel going in circles because he can't get up. Anyway, the sponge filters. One of the coolest, probably the best inventions Aquarium Co-op ever made were these sponge filters. I really love them. I love the weighted base of them and everything. And then they came out with the fine sponges as well. Now, I bought these fine sponges a while back when I had my Oscar in here. And, well, truth be told, I thought I ordered coarse, but I actually got fine. But that was okay because I like this fine. It's better for polishing your water as well, with it getting smaller particulates to be able to get caught into it. But I want to double stack them, like I said, but my plan is I want to do a coarse sponge and a fine sponge so it can kind of do operational of both. Almost pick up the bigger particles, but then also polish the water a little bit too. But I'll show you exactly how you double stack these as well. So first off, before we get going, my furnace is kicking in. I got a new microphone for Christmas, and my old ones were very good at noise canceling where I would not hear the furnace at all. I'm thinking I'm hearing them with these, which is a little frustrating because past videos I have to stop while the furnace kicks in and then start back up after. I'm just going to push through on this one, and I'm going to hope that the furnace sound is not too loud because it's at its loudest right now. Anyway, so sponge filters, how do you double stack these things? Well, first off, this is another sponge filter that I have from Aquarium Co-op, one of the other black ones. I'm sorry about the lighting, but you should be able to see what I'm going to show you. So what you're going to basically do, you take it apart, take the sponge off. Now you have these middle sections here, okay? If you're going to use two sponges, you want to get this part, the middle section, from the other one, and you simply just click it in to the next one. Now look at, you got two. So what you do then is you just push your filters down, excuse my reach, and click the top back on like you normally would. And now you got a double stack filter. Now, what I plan on doing with these in here is exactly how I have them here. I'm going to do the coarse sponge on the bottom and then do the fine sponge on top. So the particulates that get sucked into this filter originally from the bottom and from the waste, from plant particles, are going to get sucked up into the coarse side of it. And then the top part is going to do more of the polishing. So that's the idea anyway. I have some spare sponge filters in my 29-gallon holding tank that I have ricefish and some plants and stuff like that into from all my sponge filters from before I started downsizing my fish room. So I'm going to use two of those, and then I'm going to stack these. So let me stack these, and then I will get back to you and show you how I look. All right, so we got those filters in there. We got them double stacked. I also turned the flow up a little bit on those filters to get more air pushed through there. I think it looks nice. Like I said, you double the efficiency of your biological filtration by doing this. Now the water's a little messy because obviously I screwed with the filters, but it will settle. So I want to do this in a lot of my tanks right now that have the sponge filters. I had talked about in some past videos in the past about adding more sponge filters and more filtration to my aquariums, and double stacking them I think is just going to be a lot easier, because if I wanted to add just more separate sponge filters, well, now I need to add more air lines, which can also mean more power or more, more air coming off of my one big air pump that I do use for pretty much my entire fish room. So it'll be more efficient, in my opinion, to just simply double stack the sponge filters in my other tanks. Gives me the double the amount of biological filtration, but yet still the same amount of filtration and not as much room being taken up within my aquariums. That's the idea anyway. So I will be showing you guys that in my other tanks when I do these breakdowns of each tank and really what I'm doing. So like I said, this will clear up. Like I said, I got the coarse sponges on the bottom, and then I have the fine sponges on top. Heck, this tall tank, I could even triple stack it if I really wanted to, but I think that's adequate enough amount of filtration in this tank for that axolotl that's in there. And plus, like I said, I want to add a few tank mates, so let's talk about that a little bit here first. Now, I realize anything that I put into this aquarium is at risk of getting eaten by the guy down in here hiding right now. That's like the double thing. Like the pros of it, well, if you can see here, let me take this off here quick. If you see closely, there is food that gets caught up on the leaves of the anibius and just sits there, which I got to take off of there. From when I feed this guy, because he's not like an active feeder like a fish where you throw it on there, the food in the tank, and cleans every little piece in a second. He's nocturnal for the most part. He'll come out and eat some of the food if you throw it right in front of his face. But some of that stuff gets caught up, so it'd be nice to be able to have some other fish in there to be able to help basically be a cleanup crew behind this guy to help clean some of that stuff up, yet also give a little bit more life to this aquarium. I could also feed this tank a little bit more with actual fish food, which then in turn would help bump up the nitrates and help the plants grow a little bit more too. That's all the idea. Now, what am I thinking about putting in here? That's the rice fish. I have a tank with rice fish in it here, if I can swing around and show you. I have some spare rice fish in here yet from when I did my downsizing. Don't mind that tank. I just futzed around all with it with those sponge filters so it looks like a nasty mess, but I give that thing a water change every week. So I don't want to put all of them in here though, just in case. The idea is I want to put probably like 5 to 10 of them in here for right now, and I'm going to keep an eye on them and see how it goes. Like I said, obviously there is the chance that he is going to eat some of them. The good thing about rice fish is that they stay up near the top to mid mostly. Not all the time, but mostly. But if they stay out from in front of his face, I think they'll be okay. But like I said, that's why I don't want to put all of them in there. I don't want to give him that kind of a treat. I just want it to be more efficient, and we'll see how it goes from there. That's the idea anyway. So with that being said, let me net a few of these out, throw them in the tank, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I got those rice fish in there. I put about 7 of them in there, and then 1 shrimp that also got in there. Now, I told you they swim at the top and the middle. Well, they're being dumb and swimming at the bottom right now, and hopefully this guy don't see it. Anyway, so like I said, I put 7 of them in there. I got about 4 bigger ones and 3 smaller ones. I'll keep an eye on them and see how it goes over the next few days. It'll be easier to count with minimal in here to see what's going on rather than throwing a crap load in and then watching a population diminish. So that way, if I see them start to disappear, I'll just take them out that are still in here and just be it as is may and just have the axolotl in here. It'd be nice to find some kind of cleanup crew. If this doesn't work, then I might have to think of a bigger fish, not as big as him, but bigger than these guys, that could also clean up, help clean up some of the mess and leftover food that he doesn't get at. Anyway, that's the plan. So that's pretty much it for this tank right now. Like I said, at some point I would like to try to find some type of shelving unit to be able to stick to that back wall to have more anubias and have the roots kind of draping down, which would be kind of cool. And then as these grow more, I may trim some of them and kind of add them in some open spots. And like I said, I just want to make this a forest. And then lastly, like I said, these double stacked sponge filters. I love it. I think it's heck of a way to be efficient in your aquarium to get more biological filtration, but yet not add more room on your footprint rather than just build up. So I will have a link in the description of the video here for Aquarium Co-op and these sponge filters if you're interested. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already, and there will be more of these coming down the road here. I do plan on filming a few more of them today, getting some work done in the fish room and getting caught up on some of these projects I wanted to do, so I will show those in the coming weeks. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again next time here at Patty's Aquatics.
Thanks for watching and hope to see you next time here at Patty's Aquatics.